And welcome everyone to Missouri Valley Conference Chat. I'm Andy Katz, pleased to be joined by Missouri State's Dana Ford. And Dana, you guys are right there, within clear view of first place, game back. You've already split with Loyola. You've won 4 of your last 6. You got a big time star in Isaiah Mosley, who was one of our National Players of the Week at March Madness. So he's had a phenomenal season, averaging 24 U. Assess where you guys are in the stretch run right now.
Well, I think you kind of touched on a lot of the same beliefs that we have. We're right there in the hunt, which gives you an opportunity. Still a lot of work to be done, but we like where we are, considering that we've had to go to some of the toughest places in our league and get wins, and we were able to do that. So now it's just about continuing to stay focused down the stretch and just kind of control what we can control.
It's funny. There was, and deservedly so, a lot of talk of Loyola Chicago because everyone they brought back and a lot of buzz. Oh, they could get in no matter what. And they certainly have good numbers and had a good schedule. But here comes Missouri State. And I think you guys kind of knocked people back a little when you won there or earlier in this season to say, wait a minute, we can do this. We can be an NCAA tournament team. What was it like for this group to sort of fly a little bit under the radar until you popped them?
We've been under the radar. I think we were preseason number 4, which I get it because we had a lot of the league coming back and AJ Green was coming back and we finished 3rd last year. But I think we're better when we're in that type of role, maybe that underdog role. The win at Loyola was really good. It only counted for 1, but it was a big one. And what we've got to stay focused on is treating every opponent like it's at Loyola and having that mindset. And that's what champions do. They play to a standard. And I feel like we've really grown in that area coming off of our nice win over the weekend from Valpo.
You have a star. As I mentioned, Isaiah Mosley went for over 40 in that game. And I was quick to recognize him as others. And what we've seen over the years, whether it's AJ Green, whether it is a Cameron Krutwig, who's not necessarily like he was not like a 40-point guy, but he was a star in his own right. To win this league, whether it's in the tournament, a regular season, and then advance in the NCAA tournament, you need someone like Mosley. You need that kind of go-to guy. What has he done for you and the abilities of him to take over games?
Well, he's definitely made all of our lives easier, but he's a fantastic scorer. So what the number one thing that he does is he always gives you a chance to get a bucket every trip down because he can score in a variety of ways. But we're at our best when he's doing his best defensively, and whenever he is locked in and he's a part of what we're doing on the defensive side, then we really like our chances. And that's an area that he's actually grown in this year. And not just at the beginning of the year, but throughout the year, he's continued to grow in that area. And like I mentioned before, the thing that separates us is when he's locked in on the other side of the ball. But offensively, there's no secret that very few people, even in the country, can score as well as he can. He's got a lot of tools, got a great shooting touch. He's very difficult to defend. Obviously, you have to send 2 and 3 defenders, so that opens up other guys. And we've got really good shooters, and then we've got big prim around the basket. So from an offensive standpoint, we've got a well-rounded team.
So, look, there's no question that you can make an argument that anyone could win on a neutral court in St. Louis. That's how deep this league is. But I would point out that I think the top 4 legitimately could win a game, at least in the NCAA tournament. Now, all 4 aren't going to go. We know that. But, and I'm speaking of you guys, Loyola, Drake, Northern Iowa. I think when all 4 teams are at their best, they can win games in a postseason setting. So going into a tournament, knowing that you're all in that grouping, what do you anticipate it's going to be like, assuming that could even be the semis, because we know upsets usually happen. Bradley's done it before. What's going to be the mindset to get through that minefield?
Well, I definitely think you have to throw Bradley in that group for sure. They're playing really well. But one of the things that we've always talked to our group about in regards to Arch Madness is your defense is what's going to win it. And it's one of those tournaments where teams oftentimes don't perform as well offensively as you think that you should or that you're capable of. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that, prior to last year, we had become a one bid league. So there's a lot of tension there, and everyone's fighting for the same thing. But I think for us, I think we need, number one, we need to have fun. I think number two, we definitely got to carry our defense there with us. And then number three, you got to have a level of urgency and desperation because there really is no tomorrow. And like you mentioned, we've got so many people capable of winning that tournament and going on to the NCAA tournament and advancing, simply due to the fact that most teams in our league play very efficient offense, very stingy defense. We don't turn the ball over, and we make our free throws. And so we've got great shooters on the outside, and most of us have a big man on the inside that gets easy buckets. So giving enough time to prepare for an opponent, teams in our league are pretty good against anyone.
And I'm going to say this, I'm going to scream on my soapbox. Like I said, I know it's not going to happen. I'm realistic, but a loss to any of that group of five, you're right, with Bradley, is not a bad loss. I don't care what the numbers say. Watch these teams play. These are high level games, and any one of those five teams, I really believe, could win a game in the NCAA tournament or more, and advance deeper in. So we'll see what happens. Dan, I really appreciate it. And it's gonna be interesting and fun to track how you guys do here in the final couple of weeks.
I appreciate it. It's going to be a fun Arch Madness, man. It's going to be some good basketball.